All right, we are back. We just wrapped up episode 5, titled "The Perfect Game." So this is our fifth video review of the Daredevil season 3
Yep.
series. Man, we were pretty much in silence, like 80% of this episode, versus our kind of flamboyant joy that was prevalent in the other episodes. What do you think, Steve?
I heartily agree with you, my friend. This episode was pretty intense in the sense that we got to see a lot of things. What are some of the topics
So
we're going to
some
bring
of
up
the,
here?
the key themes and topics that we wanted to make sure we touch on are there is no corpse. Benjamin Poindexter, which we went back and made sure that yes, Bullseye in the comics is Benjamin Poindexter, so that's accurate here on the show too. And then our third topic is secrets. A lot of secrets going on. Let's start off with that first one. There is no corpse, which in episode 4 we were pretty excited that it ended on the note of that born again infamous taxi scene in the water. We got super hyped. And
You actually mentioned it. Like you were like, see, born again.
Yeah.
There is no corpse.
Episode 5 starts off, first things we hear, there is no corpse, which is in the comic books and in Born Again, that was the phrase that Kingpin keeps repeating, because it's like, damn, I thought I could break this man. But Kingpin in the episode seemed rather pretty level-headed and cool. It was his lawyer that was like, there's no corpse. And King was like, nah, no.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like right, going back to the religious imagery, the idea of Christ not in the tomb, and that all the enemies of Christ are like, there's no body, And if you're a Catholic, if you are a Catholic and you hear the words "there is no corpse," that resonates with you, because it's part of your belief system, and some of the stuff it's like modern day updated religious imagery where you see Matt Murdock's clothes on the floor of his apartment, but no Matt Murdock. Like it's just updated version of the burial garments in the tomb where they laid Jesus and he's not there. And this goes to show you that St. Matthew's back, baby. He's ready. But I think Kingpin doesn't know what to make of him yet. Like it's like all the bad guys have all the pieces, but they don't know how to put them together.
Yeah. It's like he's right on the cusp of saying Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
Right.
He's got the video footage and all that, and I think he's really close to figuring it out. Next topic, Benjamin Poindexter, man. I think this episode, we definitely got a lot of spotlight on Poindexter, his upbringing, and where he's at now, and even solidifies even more what we were saying. This dude's like,
he's crazy,
creepy, and crazy.
Like he is legitimately a psychopath. And see, that's another thing though. So you have, and this is something that I've gotten in conversation about, I think with you and a few other people, and usually in comics, if you're talking about superheroes, you have two kinds of major villains, right? You have your usually people are like, oh, there's the villain, there's the hero, and then there's the arch enemy, right? But I think that there's not just the hero and the arch enemy. I think there's the hero, the arch enemy, and the antithesis. So the hero fights both his arch enemy, with his complete opposite, but he also fights the antithesis, which is essentially a darker shadow version of himself. So you could take somebody like Spider-Man, right? So like his arch enemy would be Green Goblin, right? Green Goblin's really nothing like Spider-Man. He's the exact opposite. Spider-Man's poor, Norman has money. Spider-Man uses his powers to help people, Norman Osborn's out there killing people, right? But Spidey's antithesis would be Venom, where they're essentially kind of the same methodology, just a slight bit different. Venom is the shadow version of Spider-Man. Same with Daredevil. Daredevil, his antithesis is Poindexter, I'm sorry. He is basically a evil version of Daredevil, They almost have the same costume choice. They almost have the same sort of power in the sense that Matt he's a heart, so he beats. If he was a knife or a weapon, he would kill, but he's not. Matt Murdock is a heart, and he beats for his city. Bullseye is a weapon. He's a sword. and has a sword he cuts down. But they're both the same. And
I like that they the Bullseye origin in this kind of is almost pretty similar to Matt's. You know, grew up in a boys' home. I think we even kind of said, hey, "Yo, is that other kid on the bench?" You know, when he gets sat or benched during the baseball game, it looked like Matt was there with him.
Sure
So
did.
it's kind of cool to see both. You know, our antagonist and protagonist both coming from a very similar background. Of course, you know, the personalities are vastly different, and they went completely different ways. I want to give kudos, man, to how the flashback scenes played out, like that shift to black and white. I mean, they executed a baseball game in a living, you know, in a what looked like a living room, you know.
it was a way to show Wilson Fisk combing through dozens, like a box of files and tapes in a non-boring way.
Yes,
which
it
was
showed
like
rather than told us.
Right, that's
really well.
Badr, that is exactly what happens when people do their job right. Whether you're making a movie or a TV show, in the visual medium, you show, you don't tell. And that, man, this was a good episode, man. This was a really good episode.
Yeah, this was solid. Staying on Benjamin Poindexter real quick, really creepy. Like, I think we both, like, just were cringing the whole time he was on that date. Because, you know, it's knowing what we know about him and his kind of psychopathic tendencies, his personality disorder, you know, it was conflicted to watch him get the girl for a minute. He almost, you know, it was like a movie, you know, a love movie scene, you know, like meets girl at the bar, she's interested, you know.
Well, you're used to seeing shows like Dexter, you know, where like they glorify a sociopath.
Yeah.
And, you know, oh, well, you know, you could fix them, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm not a expert or a clinical psychologist with years of experience, but for the most part, based on evidence, if your brain is broken that way, ain't no way you can't just instill empathy in someone. Like it's crazy.
And to add to your point, we saw that.
So you saw that with on the date.
He was using it, you know, as it seemed like for him as an icebreaker of this is what they want to hear, rather than, you know, being genuine about it. I'm real interested to see how
he does a very good impersonation of a human being.
Well said.
But when it comes down to it, when you meet someone who's a real human, there's no substitute, and he's going to get sussed out every time. You know who else does a good impersonation of a human being?
Kingpin.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be interested to see how he fully indoctrines Poindexter to his cause, because he's already laid the seed, man.
Yeah.
Bullseye. You know, episode 4, when he's like, you know, they're pinning you as a villain, but I'm saying thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a hero. Thank you for saving my life.
Yep.
He's going to be conflicted, and I'm down to see that full transformation.
Crazy.
Last topic we got is secrets, and I enjoyed this episode because we're seeing that rift between you know, Matt, Karen, and friends. Like, a lot of secrets being dug up. Agent Nadeem, man, you were right. This dude, the actor playing this guy is phenomenal. His character arc to me went a completely different way. You know, we saw him first episode, troubled brown guy with, you know, financial problems, you know, family trying to take care of. But now, man, he's really.
I think now he's in. I think it's going to basically get to the point where he is going to get enough confidence to realize, okay, my name is out there enough, my financial problems are going to pretty much go away. And once he gets comfortable there, then he can start thinking about, am I doing the right thing? Because right now, what's motivating him isn't really, it's not really him trying to be a good FBI agent. I mean, he is one. I mean, he's complex, but at the same time, if he's really being honest, he doesn't want to let his family down.
Yeah.
And I think either he's going to come to a realization where, you know what, doing the right thing's more important, or Kingpin's just going to freaking murk him.
You know, and Karen's getting interesting, man. Like,
finally,
she's going to have to face, you know, that that murder that, you know, she participated in you know, season 1. That's coming back to haunt her. She's realizing that, no, she can't just go up to, you know, these leads and these people and, you know, try to muscle them with, you know, I've worked for the press, you know, go off record and I can help you out. No, she's messing with with the underworld and Kingpin's,
freaking really scary people. But also they're starting to do something with her that I think I really like, and that's she might be the small cog in this ginormous machine that clears Matt Murdock's name. Because Special Agent Nadeem was like, I ask questions too, and she's like, yeah, I just ask better ones.
Good point, man. I think that's all we got as far as topics for this episode. We're going to go ahead and take a break real quick, jump into episode 6, titled The Devil You Know. So we'll have a video up here shortly. Like I said in the previous episodes and our reviews, stay tuned to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned to us on social media, The Shortbox Jacks. And like I said, that podcast, full episode will be out later in the week. So yeah, it's going to wrap this episode, or this video review up, and we'll be back with episode 6.
Peace.